Good evening. Hello, everyone. What an exciting event. So wonderful to see so many great faces, familiar faces here tonight. My name's Andrew Wenthy, and I'm pleased to serve as your MC for this special event. You know, I've worked at UIU for 19 years, primarily serving as the Vice President for External Affairs. It's really hard to believe, but 15 years of my career has been spent working very closely with our honoree this evening, Bill Duffy. It's truly an honor to be here to celebrate Bill's retirement and to share our thanks and appreciation to both Bill and Sharon for their dedicated service to Upper Iowa University. You know, we have a lot of people here from Bill and Sharon's lives here with us tonight. You know, not just faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends, but so many of the friends and loved ones the Duffys have shared this UIU experience with over the years. The Duffy Friends and Family Network has helped the Peacock family grow in numbers over the last decade, and it's been wonderful to get to know this amazing extended family. To this group, thanks for your kindness and support over the years, and please behave tonight. And to all of our guests with us tonight, thanks for joining us to show our love, admiration, and appreciation for Bill and Sharon's service to UIU. So our mission tonight, speaking in Dr. Duffy's terminology, our mission this evening is simple: to say thank you to Bill and Sharon for all they've given in heart, spirit, sweat, tears, and treasure over the span of 15 years. We'll hear from a few very special people who've been part of this journey, and because the Duffys would have it no other way, we might have just a little bit of fun, maybe a little bit of fun at Dr. Duffy's expense, and we'll share some laughs tonight too. And lastly, we'll hear from the man of honor himself, as President Emeritus Duffy will share some parting words of wisdom and thanks. To get things started though, and before we call tables for dinner, I would ask you to indulge me in taking care of some official business. As you know, when Bill announced to the board last spring that he'd be retiring at the end of his contract this June, the board asked him if he could serve out his term as President Emeritus with a sole focus on fundraising. Well, to help coordinate his efforts, Chairman Lebin indicated that Dr. Duffy would be reporting to me. Upon hearing the news, I'm pretty sure Bill and I had the exact same, but yet very different immediate reaction. Bill's was, yeah, right. And mine was, oh yeah. I'd been waiting for this moment for 10 years. You see, Bill and I, we started off as colleagues in 2009, serving as vice presidents at Upper Iowa. Much of our relationship during those first few years focused on competition. We'd play golf, tennis, ping pong, pool, horse, you name it. And even though he's 20 years my senior, and I'm an exceptionally talented athlete, he still would win more than I'd like to admit. Is that right?
Very much so.
And then Bill became president in 2013, and I began reporting to him. So it was definitely a strange transition. It wasn't always easy, especially for me. But well, finally, all these years later, it's my turn. So Bill, I need you to straighten up, pay close attention, because we're going to take some time right now to conduct your final performance review. Now I know that you put your PC President's Council members through a painstaking and intense process of completing, editing, revising, and reformatting their performance reviews every year, usually ending up with Holly Wolf needing to reformat them all, probably 3 or 4 more times before we all completed those performance reviews 8 months into the next fiscal year. We will not be following that format tonight. Instead, I've come up with my own rubric for evaluation. And this isn't just an annual performance review. We're going to go back a little further. All right. We'll start with professional attire. Professional attire. Now, you would think that this would be an easy one for a president to score well on. But look at this. Duffman beer with our students. I mean, you know, interesting choice. Okay, let's see. What do we have next? Captain America. I mean, maybe in some alternate universe, I guess. That's possible. Oh, boy. Yes, those are bike shorts with a dress shirt. I'm almost certain this happened before Sharon joined us in Fayette. So we're going to need to deduct a few points from professional attire. But let's move on to wellness, something that Dr. Duffy thinks he's pretty strong on. You know, we take wellness very seriously here at UIU. Let's see how you've done, Bill.
Okay, right now, everyone, you're seeing a push-up challenge between Dr. Duffy and Molly Greenfield. They each have counters. They're going for a 1 minute.
This was at the State Fair booth. West Point guys, how are those up to regulation? You think those?
Teresa, I'm torn with who to cheer for.
He's really starting to suck wind now.
All right, I curve 9, 8, 7, 6.
That employee, Molly, who he was facing off against, she resigned the next day. All right, I think we've seen enough, Jackson. Let's go on to the next piece of evidence. That is Dr. Duffy dancing, I guess, but who's that other guy? I don't know. That would be Brother Patrick, I believe. They say dancing is helpful in mind, body, and spirit, but I don't know about this. It's well, since we still have to eat, Jackson, let's move on. Let's move on. Oh, reg
A little disappointed today. It's only 80 miles, and you know, I like to do a little further than that. Hoping maybe they'll extend this ride maybe another 500 miles or so. Right now, we're not going to take a break. I think we'll just keep on going straight through right now. That's right. We're going to knock out some push-ups and some pull-ups.
What are you doing? Driving straight to the Mississippi River
First of
today?
all, we're not driving. We're riding our bikes and we're going straight to
Mississippi today. Today, right?
That's not a problem.
Actually,
Then we'll come back to the sleepover night.
Actually, we're doing Mississippi today, and then we're riding to the Atlantic Ocean.
You guys are tough.
Oh yeah, we're tough. You're darn right.
Yeah, you're
And
tough.
you people that are watching this, you better believe we're tough. Bring it on.
Well,
Bring it on.
you guys go get them.
Oh, we'll get it.
All right, so I would say a pretty good score here. You know, Bill never shied away from competition. He just lacked a little confidence, I think. So you lose some points in this category though because of this next one. You know, you took some unnecessary risks as president.
I'm a big guy. You gotta let me fly.
So yes, he's jumping off a building. That's our president. I'm not sure what our insurance policy was. I would say, though, you know, not every university president would jump off a building to raise money for their university's homecoming fundraising drive. So that's some credits due there. So all in all, pretty good on wellness. Now, this one I've been waiting for. Professional conduct. Jackson, let's go straight to the video.
Nobody's gonna be able to put me in the corner. Nobody puts Duffy in the corner. That's what we're doing. Okay, never.
So what you're seeing here is a president of university talking trash to 5-year-olds who can't dunk him in a dunk tank. Oh! I mean, admit it, every one of you would like to be in that position right now, right? He's splashing water at children. So a little fun fact here is all of these children that you're seeing in this video, every single one, they've committed to go to Wartburg College. So. Nice recruiting, Bill. All right, so I think we'll score this one as needs improvement. A couple more categories here. Performing arts. Performing arts. So you all might think, well, this is an odd category to evaluate a university president. Well, little known fact, in Dr. Duffy's contract, it says that he is the actor-in-chief for all holiday videos, RAGBRAI promotion, etc. So I'd like us to take a look at some of your top performances.
Mr. Cameraman, morning. What we're gonna do about, I didn't realize you're gonna be here. Anyway, we're gonna do about 30 miles today. As I told you, you gotta be totally focused on drag ride. All the time. When you go to bed, when you get up, when you eat, when you sleep. Honey, baby, I'd be crazy sometimes. Baby, you okay? See it scratching you, I had a good night's rest.
I wish you could see, he's really cracking himself up over here.
You got excited here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over there in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Yes, sir, Dr. Duffy, we will see you in 5 minutes, Mr. President, sir.
Now don't tell Pete that put too much pressure on him, but let me tell you, it's all on the line here. This is the most important video of Pete's career. I sure hope you don't let me down.
Ollie, get me Pete's contract. Pete, I asked you to do one thing. I asked you to be in charge of holiday cheer. You had a party at the president's home. I wasn't even there. And everybody had an outstanding time. Then, you gave all the employees off. So I'm looking outside right now, and there's nobody on campus. Pete, you gotta get everything. Come on. Come on. Pete, you keep on missing spots. You gotta pay attention to detail. Come on, get this together. We don't have a lot of time. What's up? All right, Pete, just do a little bit of sweeping here. Now we gotta do the stadium. Now get the stadium done. Get in here, we need the whole thing. What a great looking stadium. Go ahead. Go ahead and open it up. I don't have the keys. We gotta take care of these things right here. Right here. Take that, and put this here. I'm gonna go take a break, all right? When out on the oval lawn arose such a clatter, I sprang from the couch to see what was the matter. To the window I ran with the speed of the flash. I pulled my hamstring and then pulled up the shades. Really, Pete. And at that moment, there was a noise on the rooftop, just above me. Where stands the green goddess? Whenever could it be? I grabbed my binoculars to see what I heard. And lo and behold, there was the image of a magnificent bird.
That's some good acting there.
This is the mental thing. You gotta be mental. You understand what I'm saying? Mental. Maybe that's not the right word. But anyways, you gotta be really into this. So what I encourage you to do is come around and just see, you surprise me. Find me. Talk to the staff, talk to the faculty. You'll see.
Bill, it's nuts. He rides that bike everywhere. Right next to me in my office. I have to see another bike report day in and day out. It's getting a little.
So, I don't think we'll award a score here, but don't book that ticket to Hollywood quite yet. So, 2 more categories. The first, this was an easy one, crisis management. This was never tested too much during your tenure at UIU, Bill. Smooth sailing all the way. Actually, in your own words, you did have your fair share of leadership opportunities during an up and down time at UIU and in higher education. But anyone who worked alongside you knows that you never gave up. You always looked to do what was right, and you overcame many, many, many challenges during your tenure. We will always be grateful for your leadership on that front. And lastly, relationship building. Bill, your ability to connect with peacocks around the world was amongst your greatest skills. All that you and Sharon have done to establish new relationships, strengthen existing ones, and create a culture of giving and engagement at UIU will make a long-lasting impact. Don't just take it from me. We asked alumni and friends to share their fondest memories and best wishes as part of tonight's event, and I'd like to share just a couple of those tonight. First, from Katie O'Brien, former Student Government Association president and UIU alum. She said, "President and Mrs. Duffy, thank you for the loving, warm smiles you brought to every athletic event, the hugs and hellos in the student center or around campus, and for opening your home to me and always making me feel welcome. Whether it was dinner in the sunroom or playing dominoes for a few hours, I'll remember the precious time spent with you. You both have hearts of gold, and I can't wait to take you up on that Florida visit." And that was a sentiment that many, many students, I don't know that you could find a president more student-focused or a first lady more student-focused than Bill and Sharon. And then we had from Tom Pesci, class of 75. Tom's actually here tonight. "The first time I met President Duffy, he came to my office in Cedar Rapids to meet me and share his vision for the future of Upper Iowa University. He was so upbeat and yet down to earth that you could not help but like him immediately. It was because of that initial meeting with him that I'm still involved by being on the board of directors for the Alumni Association and have significantly increased my financial contributions to UIU. Dr. Duffy, I want to wish you and Sharon the best of luck in your retirement." And again, from an alumni perspective, nobody has ever done a better job of building those relationships that will last a lifetime for UIU. Those are just two examples of individuals whose bond to UIU will always be stronger because of your genuine efforts. I'd say in this category, full credit awarded, which makes up for some of those other categories. So, well, Bill, I hope you enjoyed your final performance review. Despite some questionable dance moves and odd wardrobe choices, there's no question you aced your time here. Our university was positively changed by your leadership, and you'll forever be remembered as a great leader in UIU's incredible history. You've been an important part of the lives of countless students, alumni, and colleagues, and once again, we thank you for your service. All right, thank you. It's now time to release tables for dinner. During dinner, you will see a slideshow of photos of Bill and Sharon's time here at UIU. Please go ahead and continue to enjoy your dinner and conversation with guests at your table, as the slideshow will run again after the end of the program. So at this point, I think members of the alumni staff will release tables and we'll resume our program after the meal.
Hi, Bill and Sharon. We're so sorry we can't be with you there today to help celebrate your retirement. Please know we are there with you in spirit. Over the coming days, I hope you'll take an opportunity to reflect back on all you've accomplished at UIU. The lives you have touched, the lives you have changed. You've left UIU in much better shape than when you started.
It wasn't always easy. And you know I've always said I'd much rather ride the roller coaster than the merry-go-round. Your new adventure's already begun by moving down here to Florida, which gives us an opportunity to make more memories together.
Once again, congratulations. You have definitely made a difference. We love you both. Go Peacocks.
Hey, Bill and Sharon. Pat, Tom, and Teresa here.
Hey, greetings everybody. We're here at the venue that Bill Duffy really enjoys dancing at. That is my living room. He'll dance with just about anybody, but most of the time he's dancing by himself.
We just want to wish you guys the best, happy retirement, and enjoy all your time together in Florida and Land O'Lakes.
We love you guys.
And to the famous dancing couple, Sharon and Bill, we're so proud of you.
All right. Thank you for your attention once again. I hope you all enjoyed your dinner. For those that are not quite finished, please do continue to enjoy your meal even as we resume the program. Before doing so, however, how about a round of applause for Aramark for once again doing a great job. As I said, throughout the evening, we'll be hearing from individuals who shared some special memories and reflections about Bill and Sharon's time at UIU, as well as from people who worked closely with Bill. Many of us know that UIU athletics continues to hold a special place in the hearts of Bill and Sharon. They attended as many events as they could and were always cheering on the Peacocks. And they're currently proud subscribers to the GLVC network down in Florida and rarely miss a game. I do sometimes get a call at about 6:01 when the game's to tip at 6:02. Andrew, we cannot get this game to start. What is going on? But they're big Peacock fans. The student athletes always appreciated that. And for that reason, I'm pleased to call Rick Hartzell up to share a few words and to present a gift from the UIU Athletics Department. Rick?
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words, and I know you put me first because you're always worried about what I might say. So I'll try to. First of all, to Bill and Sharon, would like to offer my congratulations to both of you on your successful tenure here as President and First Lady of Upper Iowa. And on behalf of myself and everyone in the athletic department, we wish you the best in your retirement and in your new home. You'll be missed here, you know that, and you've left a great and lasting legacy at this place. And thank you for that and for helping to make Upper Iowa a better place. I have several lasting memories about Bill and Sharon, and a few of those are these. They're both relentless, have been relentless and unconditional supporters of all the students on this campus, and particularly our student athletes. They were at every athletic event possible. They were supportive. They were uplifting to our athletes and our coaches and our staff. In athletics, and I know you all know this probably, but winning is important. We just don't play to play. We play to compete and to try to win. And what I loved about Bill and Sharon was they were happy when we won and they were sad when we lost. And that means something. It wasn't just good enough for us to compete. It was only good enough if we were doing our best at a high level. And that's so appreciated. The academic success of our student athletes was always at the top of the list, the most important thing to them. They supported our coaches and our athletes and me personally, and that support was noticed and appreciated. I've worked for several presidents in my career in athletic administration, and what I liked most about Bill was that he would make a decision. We always were able to get to the point, we could consider the situation at hand, and we made a decision. An example of his great decision-making prowess was that he hired me. So some of my personal remembrances quickly are these. A lot of times Bill and Sharon would be at an event and I would be at the opposite event. They'd be at wrestling, I'd be at basketball, or you can understand. And a lot of times we would text back and forth about how our certain teams were doing or certain individuals. 2 years ago, we wrestled in Moorhead, Minnesota at the regional meet. And Bill texted me and said, Chase Lunsman just won his second match. And I said, yeah, I know he did. And then he said, Tate Murdy just got an escape right at the end and he won. And I said, Bill, I know. He said, well, how do you know? I said, I'm sitting like 2 seats down from you. And at basketball games, I always got a kick out of Bill and Sharon because they'd sit right at midcourt and they were reasonably calm, but invariably about halfway through the game, if it was tense, Sharon would come marching out of Dorman Gym and look at me and say, I can't take this, I gotta leave. And she would walk out and take a walk and reduce her anxiety, and then she would come back. Every year in the fall when Army played Navy in football, and I was in Bill's office, Bill would look at me and say, well, who do you think's gonna win? Well, I'm not the smartest guy, and I was raised on a little farm over here in Hancock County, But I knew that the correct answer to that question was Army. And I usually said, I think Army will win by about 4 touchdowns. And then there would be this pregnant pause because we both know that Army doesn't score 4 touchdowns in a season, much less in a game. But they have had success. I was rooting for them. I have a gift for Bill and Sharon, and there's a story that goes with this. I am really proud of this because in true Upper Iowa fashion, this was done on a budget. I will not tell you how much the frame from Hobby Lobby was, but it wasn't much. And there's 2 wrestling singlets there, which I think are appropriate for Bill. One of them is a little bit of an Army theme. There's the flag there. Got Upper Iowa and the head and the peacocks. And on the bottom it says congratulations to Bill and Sharon for their tenure as President and First Lady. Now here's the story. I'm sitting in my office and I have worked hard at getting this done. And it's been a month and a half's worth of work to try to get it all exactly the way we wanted it. So yesterday I'm sitting in my office working and all of a sudden Bill walks in, unannounced, marches right in, shakes hands. This is sitting on a chair, kind of, and he leans on it, and looking around my office, and, walking around. And I did my best to try to get him out, right? So I didn't say, would you please leave, but I wanted to. And a couple minutes later, he walks out, and I thought, whew. So I get up out of before I can even get up out of my chair, he walks back in. And I knew for sure that he was going to see it. But I don't think you did you?
I don't even remember the event.
So anyway, this is our gift from athletics to Bill and Sharon, and they can put it up in their home and think about the peacocks. This is what I'd like to say. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your service to this country and to this university. And most of all, thank you for your friendship and support of me and my family. We're going to miss you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. And Bill and Sharon, you should know that singlet, the UIU singlet, was worn at Nationals this year by one of our student athletes, and we framed it unwashed. So enjoy. It's going to be great. Yeah.
I want to get a little Febreze out.
All right. Thank you again, Rick. Very nice remarks and a great parting gift. Anyone who knows Bill understands that he is fortunate, very fortunate, to have been partnered with an amazing person for the majority of his life. It's hard to imagine Bill without Sharon by his side. But for the first couple of years at UIU, Bill was without his significantly better half. Even without Sharon, though, Bill made quite an impression during his early years at UIU. I certainly will never forget one of my earliest interactions with him in the early spring of 2009. We had both independently decided to join Team Peacock for RAGBRAI, a first for both of us. We also discovered we both lived in Hawkeye, and someone suggested we get together for a training ride, also a first for both of us. We agreed via email that Bill would meet me at my apartment at 5:30 a.m. for a morning ride. Well, I got up at 5:25, went out, looked down my back stairs to see Bill already there, waiting. He must have grown impatient because, and this is no joke, as I looked out the window, he dropped to the lawn and started doing push-ups. And I'm like, seriously, what is it with this guy and the push-ups? Man, so from that moment on, I can honestly say that my life has never been the same. Bill became a great friend to me and to another new employee at UIU at that time, Elissa Cox, who arrived at UIU as an art professor in the fall of 2008. The three of us bonded through our first RAGBRAI. We had movie nights. We went to UIU socials together. there was maybe more than one practical joke. Usually Bill was the practical joker. And I know that there's some people out there that may even credit Bill with being somewhat of a matchmaker for Elissa and me, who's now my wife. But I've got to say, he wasn't always a great one. After Elissa and I did start dating, we'd still have Bill over for movie nights. And there was more than one occasion when we'd finish the movie and maybe Elissa and I were ready for the next stage of the evening. But Bill would say, "Okay, what's the next movie?" Thank goodness Sharon did finally make the move to Iowa, or else I'm not sure Elissa would have any children. But arrive Sharon did, and she immediately started making a difference. Sharon's passion and dedication to UIU over the years might not be noticed or recognized quite as often as Bill's, but we weren't going to miss the opportunity to pay her the attention she deserves this evening. So tonight, Holly Wolf will share a few words about Sharon's important role, her relationship with Bill and Sharon, and their work together over the years. Holly?
Thank you, Andrew. I'm Holly Wolf, Executive Assistant to the President. I've been at UIU for 19 years and in the President's office since 2012. The majority of that time with Bill. So, good evening, everyone. I've had the pleasure of working alongside Bill and Sharon since 2013 when Bill became President. Tonight you have heard, or will hear, how Bill has made an everlasting impact on UIU, and as crazy as some of these stories are, they are true. And we didn't even share all of them. I will never, ever forget my first attempt to assist Bill as UIU's president. Bill didn't choose me. I was in the role, when he became president in April, I was in the role the prior October. So Bill kind of assumed me. He didn't choose me, and we've had a good time. But I was attempting to write his first speech just prior to his formal announcement. We were sitting across from each other in a very small round table in the Student Center green room. I really didn't know much about Bill other than he oversaw UIU's academic extension. I knew him as Wild Bill Duffy from our short time together on Team Peacock, his apple juice debacle. And he could still wear his disco clothing from the 70s because he did wear those to Wendy Cox Halloween party one time. So. Little did I know how wonderful the next 10 years would be and how my professional and personal life would forever be impacted. After working in the office together, I learned that I would come to master Bill's voice in writing. And most importantly, the Duffy art form of formatting a Word document, that the point of a written message should be in the first sentence, with supporting comments to follow, the use of Times New Roman 12, and the proper way to save a document, which includes the date and the time to the nearest minute. As annoying as I thought these once were, they are forever ingrained in my daily work, and now I pass those on for others to enjoy. Evident by the stories tonight, we all know that Bill has a love for humor and having fun, but also a seriousness and determination to make the best decisions for UIU and the students we serve. The combination of these created a president's office environment that was truly a pleasure to work in. Outside of the regular presidential office commitments for the university are the engagement responsibilities, many that you've seen tonight, which Bill and Sharon, of course, thrived in. Be it a student or alumni event, they were there. All home and away games were placed on their calendars so that they could attend or cheer from afar. This led to many times on the road, which were driven by Sharon, while Bill was engrossed on his computer or his phone, and at times on Zoom with his camera on and a full shot of his ear as he held the phone up to his ear so he could hear the conversation. Bill. Technology. Not only does Sharon have mad chauffeur skills, but her impact on this dynamic Duffy duo will forever leave a legacy at UIU. As Sharon would know, there is no handbook for the role of the president's spouse. I have one if I need it, so. Sharon accepted this role with tenacity, grace, and generosity. She opened their home and provided a welcome place of celebration and community, and embraced the UIU family as her own. We will cherish these times always. As I close in my comments tonight, I would like to end with a quote. After writing for Bill all these years, no message would ever be complete without a quote. Right, Bill? The author is unknown. Sometimes people come into your life for a moment, a day, or a lifetime. It matters not the time they spent with you, but how they impacted your life in that time. Thank you, Bill and Sharon, always. We love you. I now invite Sharon up to the stage.
And another round of applause for Holly, because I had the backup speech if she couldn't get it out, and she did it. So.
Is she talking? Oh, I'll take it. Okay.
And you expect me to follow that, huh? Thank you, Holly. You just had me in tears, and now I have to say something. It's going to be tough. I want you to know that. I was thinking about the first time that I came to Fayette, and it was a particularly anxious time for me. As many of you know, Bill was in the military for 20 years, so we've moved to a lot of different places and lived in lots of different places. But I just remember how anxious I felt. When I arrived, Bill took me to dinner at a little place on the corner I'm sure many of you are familiar with called Boykie's, right? We were having dinner, and I just remember I had tears streaming down my face. And I said to him, "You're really gonna do this?" But it was not about the place. There was just something different about my anxiety. And what I realized was that it was because this was the first time ever in my life that I would be without my children and my grandchildren. And I didn't know where I would fit in and who I would be in this little town. But what ended up happening, little did I know, is that Upper Iowa University would embrace me with this huge hug. I like to say that, but, and they became my extended family. Thank you for making me feel so welcome and supporting Bill and I for all these years. We will cherish the friendships that we've made here, and all of the memories will remain in our hearts forever. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Once a peacock, always a peacock, and I am so proud and honored to be a part of this peacock family. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. All right, during Bill's first few years at Upper Iowa, he served as the Vice President of Academic Extension. He had an office in the Northeast Iowa Professional Building, formerly known to some of you as Maltby-McCosh Dorm, and he worked with many UIU staff across UIU's center locations. Here in Fayette, his core team included longtime UIU employees Janelle Soppe and Kathy Wenthold. And boy, do these two have some stories. While Kathy can't be with us in person tonight due to a family commitment,
Hi, I'm
she
Kathy, and I'm Janelle.
Put together
We had the
a
great
video
privilege of
message
working with Bill since his first day at UIU. So we thought we would take a little bit of time today to share with you some of our favorite phrases, our top 10 indeed, from Bill's time at UIU. Number 10.
As you may or may not know, Bill was in the military for a year or two. So over the years, we have become very accustomed to hearing him close with this phrase.
Keep doing great things for America. Hoo-ha!
Number 9.
Have you seen the bell tower?
While he probably didn't realize it existed the first 7 or 8 years he was here, once Bill realized this was at the top of AD, he loved to show everyone he met. And Holly even told me he shined it before he left.
Number 8.
What year are you? What's your major? What's your GPA?
I know what you're thinking. Bill probably asked this to prospective students when they came, and he did. But periodically, he would also ask the admissions counselor the same question that was taking the student around on the tour.
Number 7.
Well, have you checked with the faculty?
Bill was very good about making sure everyone was included in all big decisions. However, you can imagine my surprise when I got this answer the time I asked him if it was okay if I bought some Post-it notes.
Number 6.
Always remember, Dad, don't.
This little bit of advice came from Bill after consuming not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles of apple juice and a banana before starting out on his morning ragbri route. We'll leave the rest up to your imagination, but Bill, you really should apologize to that farmer.
Number 5.
Hello, Bill. Hello, Sharon. Just want to wish you a happy retirement. One phrase that will not retire around here is, do you have your coin?
Now, as you may or may not know, Bill was in the military for a year or 2. He often challenged people to produce their coin, which was a military tradition, and then he would sucker them into buying him a drink when they failed to produce the coin. Now, Bill, in keeping with the tradition, do you have your coin?
Number 4.
Just a second, Buck. Hey, you need a ride? No? Sure? Okay, good to go? See ya.
Bill didn't always have a golf cart, but once he got one, he was willing to give anyone a ride, whether you were walking back from lunch or a student who had an enjoyable evening. Number 3.
Hey, Janelle, what time is my 10 o'clock meeting?
I don't know if Bill didn't get enough sleep the night before or what happened, but you guys, this truly happened.
Number 2.
Did you know we were one of Zoom's first customers?
The CFO of Zoom really wanted to be here tonight to congratulate you in person, but unfortunately he was unable to attend, so he'll Zoom you later on tonight to give you his own congratulations. For those of you who don't know, Bill was really proud of this recognition and loved to tell everyone that he met. This included the kindergarten class that he read Dr. Seuss to at the elementary school.
Number 1. Through no fault of our own, Bill would periodically become frustrated with us in meetings while we would hear womp, womp, womp. He would become red in the face and belt out this little gem.
People, this is not that difficult.
We hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. We know we can tease because you have such a great sense of humor and have always added such laughter to this university.
I think I speak for many when I say thank you for all the years that you have worked with us.
You and Sharon have been a great asset to this university for the last 15 years, and we wish you all the best as you ride off together in the sunset. We love you!
Thank you to Kathy and Janelle, and Janelle's with us. Why don't you stand up, Janelle, and we'll give Janelle a round of applause. And Janelle, if you could remind Dr. Duffy what time his 10 o'clock meeting is on Monday, that would be great. So as we can see tonight from several of the tables here, to know Bill Duffy is also to know his exceptional family. Bill has always been proud to talk about his siblings, his children, grandchildren, and now great-grandchild. Many of us know that he and his 3 brothers all were West Point cadets at the same time, that his older sisters are tough, smart, and talented, and that Brother Patrick is, as Bill likes to say, the dumb one. The dumb one. We also know that Bill and Sharon are incredibly proud of their 2 extraordinary daughters who have blessed them with 5 grandchildren and who bring a lot of love to Bill and Sharon. Tonight, we will cautiously and with not even an ounce of hesitation be handing the microphone to Mary Ann Duffy, Bill's daughter. Come on up, Mary Ann. You can do it.
All right, it's fine. This is fine. All right. Hello. My name is Mary Ann. I am Bill and Sharon's youngest daughter, preceded by my older and shorter sister right there, Kim. They say if you see 2 sisters and there's a shorter one, it's usually the oldest, and that is definitely true in our case. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak. As a side note, I would just like everyone to know that I have a crippling fear of public speaking. Crippling. And the last time I tried to publicly speak was in high school, and my dad and I had practiced a speech for weeks and weeks on end. It was for a scholarship, and we had practiced this thing over and over and over, and I was ready, and I got out on that stage and I was ready, and I looked my dad dead in the eye, and I said, "I am so sorry, I cannot do this," and walked clear off the stage. So here's to hoping 30 years later this one goes better. Yes, good times, good times. I wanted to share some things about the man you all have come to love and know, but from a slightly different perspective. Many of you know him as a leader, boss, friend, mentor, brother, uncle, coach, or just a general pain in the ass. I know him as my dad and, well, also a pain in the ass. I remember from a very young age his sense of humor and his work ethic. Everything he does, he takes pride in, and he always has. And he instilled those same values into my sister and I. He taught me right from wrong. He taught me never to judge a man by his color, but by his character. He was the type of father that made me apologize to others if I did something wrong, but he was also the type of father that apologized to me when he did wrong. He can ingrain humor in almost any situation when appropriate, and sometimes when not appropriate. He led our family with love, laughter, and discipline. Growing up, I had to answer the phone. Duffy residence, this is Mary Ann speaking, can I help you? Before leaving the dinner table, I had to say, "May I please be excused?" Elbows were not allowed to be rested on the table, and hats were not allowed to be worn. It was not uncommon to see him and my mom dancing around the living room, listening to their favorite vinyl record, probably Fleetwood Mac or Jackson Browne. It was not uncommon to walk by a room and seeing my mom laughing so hard she was crying from my dad tickling her to death, and the only way to get out of that grip was to say, "I give up." And me and all my kids, and most of us know this about my dad, that is the only way. And for those of you that know my dad, he's very competitive, and he loves to hear the words, "I give up." So if you don't know that about him, now you do. It was also not uncommon to see my dad with a video camera. He was very Clark Griswold growing up. We always had to find adventures and travel to cool places to see cool things. And also, many of you may know that my dad absolutely loves a good prank. And the most remarkable thing about my dad is that when he is pulling off a prank, he remains completely stoic and serious. And I don't know how he does this. Like the time when I was in high school, and I wanted to introduce my parents to my boyfriend. And I thought this was a good idea. So, me and my boyfriend arrived. We pulled up in the driveway. We got out of the car and we start walking up to the house. About that time, my dad exited the house and he walked out and he greeted us in the driveway confidently and said, extended his hand, "Bill Duffy, nice to meet you." Now, this sounds pretty normal, and it would be normal for most other people. It wasn't what he said, and it wasn't how he said it. It was what he was wearing when this happened. And I was gonna try to explain this verbally to you all to give you guys a good visual, but I thought a picture would probably be the best way to really show you guys what I was dealing with. So if we could get that picture, please. Let's let this sink in. Let's let this really, and I want to be clear, this was 1997, not 1977. Can we just be clear? There's a lot to unpack here. This is quite the package. Those are very, very tight pants, okay? Fellas, don't be jealous. That is 1000% a banana. Ask my mom. She can confirm and verify that is a banana. Okay? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I bet you don't remember that. So we can pull that trauma down now. We can pull that trauma down now. All right. Yep, there that was. That was good. That relationship didn't last long, and that's okay. I always knew my dad could keep it light, but he also has this ability to be very serious and protective when needed. There's never been a time in my life where I felt unsafe in his presence. Like the time when I was a child, I was about 8 or 9, and he and I were outside playing basketball. He went inside to grab something to drink, and shortly after, an older boy had appeared out of the wood line. And in a very short amount of time, he had talked me into walking with him onto his property through the woods and to see a playhouse. Before I had even realized it, I had walked with this older boy into the woods, into a secluded area, into a playhouse. He opened the door and he walked me in there, and as soon as I got in there is when I felt immediate fear. I was immediately panicked, but before I could even do anything, I saw the door fling open. The guy folded like a lawn chair and got suctioned out of the door like a vacuum, and all I remember hearing was something to the effect of, "If you ever come near my daughter again." I still to this day don't know exactly what was said. I still to this day don't know exactly how he found me, where he knew to look, but he did. And I can confidently say that wasn't the first time that he has found me when I was lost. Now, I can't say that his radar was always spot on. There was also a time when I was a senior in high school and I had some older girlfriends that were in college and they wanted to play a good board game, but they didn't have any. So they called me on my own personal line. This is back in the 90s when we didn't have cell phones, so we had our own personal phone line. So they called me and asked if they could borrow a board game. So about 20 minutes later, my girlfriends were standing outside of my window. My window was about 5 to 6 feet off the ground. I had popped the screen and I was sliding the board game out, and my girlfriend was standing on the other side with her hand up extended. And about the time when our hands kind of both hit the game to exchange this, all of a sudden, this maniac comes running around the house in the black of night, wearing boxers and a bathrobe and holding what I think was a golf club. It may have been a bat, I'm not sure, but he was screaming, "You don't know who you're messing with." And he didn't say messing with. That's, scared the shit out of all of us. We got a really good laugh, but talk about the game of life. We had to convince him that we were just exchanging board games and not drugs. And so it was all right. There was also the time when I was 19 years old and away at college, and I found out I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, Riley, who is right here. And I was terrified. I was terrified. One of the things I was most terrified of was to tell my dad. So naturally, like any mature young adult would do, I called my mom and told her first. I asked her to break it to my dad, let him know, and then have him call me when he was ready to talk about it. And he called me almost immediately. and he told me how much he loved me, and that no matter what, and that no matter what, that they were there for me and for us, and that they have been there for me and for us always. I've made many mistakes in my life. Excuse me. But with my parents' love, support, and guidance, I turned out all right. I have 3 beautiful children, a beautiful granddaughter, a loving and supportive family and friends, and a great career. I actually ended up becoming a leader myself, and while I did not choose education, I chose healthcare, and I oversee the nursing department, the nursing and social work department, over 12 states. The leadership values that I learned from him were lessons that I did not even know that I was being taught. He always told me, be a leader, not a follower. Lead by example, and by his example, I also learned to lead with conviction. Do what you say you are going to do. You are who you hang out with, so elevate yourself by hanging out with better people. He taught me that if you're the smartest person in any room, to find another room. He taught me the value of laughter and genuine human connection, to treat people equally and fairly, and how to listen effectively. He can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and trust me, you do not want Bill Duffy as a thorn in your side. Trust me, many of you may know that. Speaking and celebrating about Dad's career would not be right without recognizing my mom's contribution to his success and the success of our family. While Dad was always front and center, Mom was always the one in the curtains, holding it down in the background. She held everything together and supported him through all these years, almost 44 of them to be exact, and supported us in our growth. From my mom, I have learned tenacity and strength, and that the story of our past does not dictate our future. Many of you may not know that my mom did not have an easy upbringing. It was actually downright traumatic, something that she rarely ever talks about. Actually, she never talks about it with anybody. It didn't dictate her story or determine her path. She protected us from things that she had to go through and kept our family stable and together all these years, and none of us would be who we are without her being the backbone and making all the sacrifices that she has made for the betterment of our family. So today, I want to celebrate both my parents and their well-deserved and long overdue retirement. I want to celebrate them by highlighting the key values that they not only instilled in me, my sister, and our children, but values they have sown into the fabric of this university. Strength, courage, kindness, empathy, tenacity, integrity, love, passion, and laughter. With life comes changes, and changes in the season of life are not without their challenges. And right now, like the university, our family is in a season of change. Excuse me. And Dad, though your memory may not be as strong as it once was, the memories you have left us with and this university with will last forever. Thank you and Mom for being the driving force that has led to my success, Dawn's success, this university's success, and the success of all past, present, and future UIU graduates. We are all forever grateful and we'll remember your legacy, even if you forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Thank you. Well, at this time, we have a special recognition here. As we know, during Bill's presidency at UIU, which is, we believe, the second longest tenure in UIU's history, trailing only the legendary Eugene Garvey. During this time Bill served, he sat alongside 3 board chairs: Bob Firth, Dennis Murdoch, and Scott Lebin. The bulk of his tenure was served with Dennis, who I will now call up to the podium to share a few of his fondest recollections, and that will be followed by Chairman Scott Lebin joining Dennis up on the stage, where we will present a formal proclamation commemorating Dr. Duffy's President Emeritus status. Dennis?
Good morning, everyone. I have only had a few occasions to speak in front of the university community, and after the first couple, it was suggested that I write down the remarks I intended to make. Gail Behrens would look over them and make suggestions on which items to leave out, which of course I didn't follow. So it has been some time since I've had an opportunity like this. But Dr. Duffy, it is a real privilege to have worked with you, and it's a great honor to be up here. My first exposure to Dr. Duffy was a video that we haven't shown tonight, but when he was called back to Sharon to tell her about all he had to do in this new job was the bike ride. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. It is priceless. But at some point after that, we were in a board meeting. It sounds like everything during his career here was great. And that was from one perspective, but there was a downside to it. And my first real acknowledgement of Dr. Duffy's character came at a board meeting when he was senior vice president of academic extension. And he was giving a report on some of the strategic recruiting initiatives. I don't remember which one it was, but at one point it seems like we had a long board discussion about using recruiting dollars to visit with the parents of twins. A win would be double the exposure if we could sign on families with twins. I don't know much about Duffy's resume. I've never been offered to look at it.
Just don't look at my transcript.
What I've never understood is leaving a career in our armed forces, which I've not been, but I understand that's an organization with a very clear chain of command. You are told to take that hill, and then they tell you how to do it. Going from there to academia puzzles the hell out of me, because I didn't know what collegial meant. I learned under Dr. Duffy that it means everybody's in charge and everybody's got a better idea how to do things. And no sense starting until you've checked with everybody. So how you get from one to the other, I don't know, but I'm glad you ended up here, Dr. Duffy. And I was able to help Dr. Duffy with some of that learning curve. I reminded him that just because the board votes unanimously, that doesn't mean they're all behind us. I always thought about that conversation that Moses must have had every morning with Aaron. Are those people following or are they chasing us? Because that's exactly how it seemed. Noting his military career, at times you have to take a defensive position, and my knowledge of that thing came from the old westerns where you circled the wagons. And it became obvious that when we circled the wagons, all the bad guys weren't on the outside. And it was a tough situation to work through. But as you've heard tonight, Dr. Duffy's character attributes are integrity, ethics, and transparency. And that got the university to where we are today. I really want to, I was going to make a list of all the positive things that occurred during all this mess. I mean, life presents challenges. When he got the job as president, he only had three things he needed to do. And that was to build trust with the board, assemble a strong team, and to earn the respect of the faculty and the community. Piece of cake, except for all the other things that were happening at the same time. But those attributes that Dr. Duffy came with, integrity, transparency, ethics, got us through it all. And I would like to personally thank you, Dr. Duffy. It was an awesome ride, and I was very proud to be a part of it and to have gotten to know you and your respect for your character. Thank you very much, my friend. And I'd like to come up now. I've got one more thing. I do have my challenge coin tonight, but I brought you one that I carry.
Are you challenging me then?
And Scott, you can go ahead and come up now as well.
So I always carry it.
Well, this is just a reminder. Rule 62. Don't take yourself too damn serious. Oh, you've got it. Okay.
Well, it's wonderful to have all this fun. And what I'm going to talk about now is what this really all means, because it doesn't matter how long we've heard this tonight, you're at any place. There's only one really important question, and that is, when you leave there, is the place better or not? Have you really contributed? So, Upper Iowa University, President Emeritus, whereas Dr. William R. Duffy II is President Emeritus of Upper Iowa University, and whereas Dr. Duffy has dedicated his professional life to serving our country and working to the better needs of higher education, Dr. Duffy retired from the United States Army as Lieutenant Colonel after 20 years of active duty. After retirement from the Army, he committed to a career in higher education for over 20 years. And whereas through past and continued commitment to Upper Iowa University, he has been actively engaged in leadership as the Senior Vice President for Academic Extension from 2009 to 2013. And he has been president from 2013 to 2023 and president emeritus since 2023. Dr. Duffy has been instrumental in changing lives one student at a time. This is evident by living this mantra, UIU first, people always. And whereas Dr. Duffy's dynamic leadership has been significant in leading Upper Iowa University through some of the most challenging years in the university history. During his presidency, he was always up for a challenge, never backed down, thus moving the university forward. And whereas Dr. Duffy has left a legacy that will serve Upper Iowa University students for years to come, many will remember his selfless service, genuine and sincere interest in anyone he meets, outgoing and charismatic charm, and his love for family. And whereas Dr. Duffy's qualities, innumerable as they are, including any opportunity for a challenge in a push-up contest, game of pool, tennis, football, or chess, or racing up a hill while participating in RAGBRAI, which he has completed 15 times. His sense of humor shines throughout times of celebration and challenge. Then, now thereof, let it be resolved that Upper Iowa University and the Board of Trustees acknowledges its deep gratitude to Dr. William R. Duffy II for his commitment to the mission and vision of Upper Iowa University to provide quality educational opportunities accessible through varied delivery methods to inspire success and empower lives. Adopted the 12th day of April, 2024.
All right, at this time, it is now my honor to invite to the stage Upper Iowa's 22nd President, Kathy Franken, for a few remarks and one final special presentation. Kathy?
Thanks, Andrew. So we've heard quite a few stories tonight, so I thought I might as well add one more. When Dr. Duffy and I first met, it was right after we both started at UIU. Dr. Duffy started in March of 2009. I started in August of 2008, so we were together pretty much the whole time. Right after we both started, though, in our respective roles, I joined as an academic advisor at our Waterloo Center, Dr. Duffy as our Senior Vice President for Academic Extension. My first memory with Dr. Duffy came when he decided it would be a good idea to visit all UIU locations within a 2-week time frame. We'll put aside how terrible of an idea that was, because we had 20+ locations in 7 states at that time. During his visit to the Waterloo Center, though, he met with each staff member individually. When it was my turn, I distinctly remember he asked the question, "Since you are the only academic advisor here at this location, what happens when you're out of the office and students are unable to meet with you?" My response was that students would schedule a time when I was back in the office. Dr. Duffy immediately began putting stars on his paper and stated, "This is a 4-star, this is a 4-star," and got a bit fired up. So after Dr. Duffy leaves, like any good staff would do, we were all comparing notes of how our meetings went. And I shared that I got a 4-star comment. I'm thinking I had a great answer not knowing that Dr. Duffy, with his military background, was thinking this was a 4-star problem and needed immediate attention. And from there, we continued to work together for the next 15 years. Over the years, Bill and I worked closely together. At times, I think we would both agree maybe we could see each other a little less. However, I want to thank Bill for his service to UIU and to Bill and Sharon for all of their contributions over the years. Well, except maybe one, Bill. The number of people that have asked if I am going to, and I quote, continue the tradition of riding RAGBRAI is crazy. So thanks for putting that in place. Seriously though, thank you both for everything over the years. Bill, I'd like to invite you to come back up to the stage again so that we can present you with a special gift. And it's been mentioned a couple of times this evening. Over the years, Bill was dedicated and determined to get the bell tower area repaired and presentable to take Friends of the University up to the roof.
Oh, this is important, people.
Many of you have probably already been up there. So, as a small token of our appreciation, we'd like to present you with this replica and ask you to go ahead and ring the bell.
A little bit smaller than the one.
We knew anything bigger, Sharon would be mad because, you know, there's only so much mantle space.
Bill, please stay up and share a few remarks.
I have to.
It is your party.
Andrew, you think you're funny, don't you? Do I get to keep this too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, you know, I probably won't have as much humor in this as the others. Very creative, it's wonderful. We have had a lot of laughs. And as I reflected on this, what I really want to do now is really to thank you all, okay? So, as Sharon and I look out today, we can truly say we are so very, very blessed. We always told our daughters, you are who you hang out with. Well, we definitely made the right choice when we came to UIU, since we've been hanging out with great people for the past 14 years. So many of you have helped UIU to overcome significant challenges, worked endlessly to ensure UIU's successes, and created wonderful memories in our lives. Throughout all those challenges, there were successes. There were times where we weren't successful. Lessons were learned, and individuals we needed to recognize for their efforts and accomplishments. As such, I will reflect on my tenure as president during some of the challenges, the successes, and most importantly, express our gratitude to those involved. So I will first want to recognize a few people in our lives that have always been there to support us. And when I identify the groups, I will ask you all to briefly stand up so everybody can stare at you and know who I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm going to start out first to our daughters. To our daughters. See, they never listen. They never listen. They think they know everything. Thank goodness. Thank you for standing. You may now sit. Mom and I are so very, very proud of you both. You are wonderful parents, outstanding leaders in your professions, have overcome many significant challenges,
and you both have outstanding men in your lives, Thomas and Nick. Fortunately, between you two and Mom, I have nothing to worry about, since you all worry about everything for me. We love you both so very much. Thank you. To my 7 siblings, there's 2 missing here, but to my 7 siblings, please stand.
So many.
Okay, very good. You may sit. Okay. I'm in charge here. God. All right, to my 7 siblings, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and yes, 1 great-grandchild. Thank you very much for a lifetime of fun, caring, sharing, and support. Also, a big congrats to our daughter Dawn, nephew Daryl, and our granddaughter Briley for completing their UIU degree requirements. In addition, our granddaughter Madison is currently working on her UIU Master's of Education degree, and our niece Katie is expecting a beautiful baby boy. And we could not be happier for you and your husband, Patrick. We love you all. It's 1 page down. All right, to our West Point and West Point Prep School brothers, and the Perrys who we've served with in Hawaii. I'm going to ask you all to stand, please. Come on, get used to this. Come on, all of my colleagues, there you go, that's it, that's okay, that's it, very good, you may sit, go ahead. You have all always been there to celebrate our successes and support us when times were challenging. Thank you so very much for our lifelong friendships, and looking forward to see much more of you in the future. Thank you all. During my interview with the Bridge, I was asked, what is the one thing you think about first when you reflect on your time at UIU? First and foremost, Sharon and I will always cherish the time we spent with members of our Peacock family. You've been so very committed to the future success of UIU. You have been so very committed in the future success for our students. And many of you have heard me say, no employee is more important than any other employee. We simply have different duties and responsibilities. As such, our best memories have always been and will be the lifelong relationships we have made with our UIU employees, with the students, the alumni, the friends, the community leaders, partners, and our Board of Trustees. Words cannot adequately express how honored and blessed we are to have had you all in our lives throughout this journey. My advice for any leader is to take the time to speak with the employees, the students, the prospective students, and parents. Remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And just that little bit of time does make a difference. So for all of you, thank you very much. To all of our Board of Member Trustees, thank you. Board of Member Trustees, please stand. That's it, come on. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much for serving as a board member. These individuals volunteer their time, expertise, and their personal resources to help ensure the total success of UIU. They are all professionals who come from many different backgrounds, but together they make a huge impact from with their service to UIU. I also want to thank specifically the board chairs I reported to during my tenure as the president. As we mentioned earlier, Bob Firth, Dennis Murdoch, and Scott Lebin. Each one of these leaders, along with other board members, had some very challenging and difficult issues and decisions to make. And as I've told many of the individuals I've worked with, While I may not have always agreed with the decision made, I always owned the final decision as if it was my own. In other words, when the decision's made, you can't say to people, this is the decision, but I don't support it. And in life, that's very, very important. And you've done quite well, done a great job, and I have supported those. And I was very proud to serve with all these men and women. So let's give them both, let's give our Board of Trustees another big round of applause. I also want to take this opportunity to publicly thank two very special families. And you know, sometimes it's tough when you're going to pick out some, but I really owe this to these two families. Those two families are the Harms and the Andrews. Your generosity before and during my tenure as president has been essential for UIU's success, and we are all so very blessed and fortunate to have you both. Overall, I remain very proud to have served with all of these board members, but for these two right here, they're at a whole different level, and I can tell you with total certainty, had we not have these two families in the history of this university, it wouldn't be the same. I'll just say that. But I'm so proud to have you both there, and Richard and Chris Andrews and them, same thing. So please, you can please stand. Just thank you. Okay. Lastly, to all of the UIU community members and business partners. How many do we have? Any business partners out here? None? Community members? Any community members out there? I know we got a good number of community members. None? Okay. Well, to those that we have worked with, UIU would not and could not have been successful without their experience, advice, and services and support. You got to have the partners of the community, and we do have that. So not only do those partners provide outstanding services, many of them attend UIU events and get involved in activities on campus and financially support UIU. So to them, thank them very much. I've often been asked, what are some of my proudest accomplishments during my tenure at UIU? As I look back on my tenure at UIU as the 21st president, there are 5 achievements I'm especially proud of. The first one is ensuring we maintain our UIU accreditation. Because if you don't maintain your accreditation, bottom line is you won't success as a university. That's the bottom line. The most recent HLC accreditation results are the best academic results UIU has received in 35 years, which is amazing. I especially want to thank Vice President Doug Binsfield for his invaluable knowledge and experience. He was unable to attend here. I spoke with him. But I also want to say a big thanks to Billy Cowley, the Dean of Academics and Educational Affairs, for her outstanding academic leadership. Billy, I know you and Matt, you're here. Where's Billy at?
They were here this afternoon.
What's that?
They were here this afternoon.
Oh, that's right. They were unable to be here. But I'm going to tell you, these people were amazing. And also, all of the faculty and staff that were involved with this accreditation process, you made it happen. It's just phenomenal to do what we did, and I give all the credit to these people. So let's give them all a big round of applause. Number 2, establishing UIU's current core values and strategic plan. I'm going to cut it to the chase on this one. When you have a strategic plan and core values, it's got to be a document that guides you. And I forever, even before becoming a president, while I was at the other university, I would look at these strategic plans. I couldn't even understand the strategic plans, most of them. And they're so long, you don't even know what they're talking about. And so for us, we had to have concise strategic plans, and we had to have concise core values to make sure we would be successful in the future. And I'm very proud of all of our leadership, everyone who's been involved throughout the years, updating those. And I just got to thank all of our employees and other individuals that got involved in those processes. And you've done a great job with that. And I want to thank you for that, because it does take a lot of time, and you must always include all of the stakeholders involved. It's not just the staff, not just the faculty, it's the community, it's all of it. So thank all of you for that. So the third item that I want to talk about, Rick, I'm going to talk about the Great Lake Valley Conference. This is really a cool story. I love it. I didn't think Rick could do it. I didn't have much confidence in him. I really thought it was going to fall apart, but I'll tell you anyway what happened. No, I did not. It's nice. Last year, UIU Athletics was a member in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, NSIC. In less than 1 year, UIU successfully moved to the GLVC, Great Lakes Valley Conference. This process typically takes 2 to 3 years. Rick Hartzell and his staff completed transition in 10 months. Absolutely amazing. Being in the GLVC significantly reduces travel and lodging expenses, enhances safety with less travel and bad weather conditions, and allows UIU to compete more with similar schools. I got to give a great big congrats to Rick Hartzell and his outstanding staff. If any of you are out there in the audience, please stand. Let's give them a big round of applause. There's some of the others. Okay. I saw Howie earlier and some of them. They're fantastic. So thank you all so very much. The fourth one is increasing UIU's endowment. Since becoming UIU's president, the university endowment has more than doubled, growing from $9 million to $20 million. We've done this by adding more restricted endowments for scholarships, programs, and increasing UIU's unrestricted endowments, so we can apply those to the most significant needs. A big thanks to Andrew Wenthy and the entire alumni and advancement team, and of course to all of our donors, thank you. So a big round to all those people and to our donors. Okay, so I got my little bell. So my fifth one and last one that I'm real proud of is obviously to preserve UIU's history. And coming from the military, we've always looked at our history, and while I wasn't a real good student, I did learn some of those things, that basically you don't throw away your history. That's part of what builds up your whole organization. And with Sharon and I got here, and one of the things that we would always say is, wherever you go, what you need to do is leave it and make it better. That's all you got to do. If you're checking out of a home, well, you're going to make sure it's cleaner than you got it. And basically, it's amazing. So I go back to preserving our history, and by that, we established the UIU archives in the library. And if you haven't seen them while you're here, you got to go to see some of these things. They're amazing. The Foster Cass archives, and renovated the campus sculptures. Alyssa's out there. I remember this. I said, Alyssa, how can we fix these sculptures? They're all turning green and they're falling apart. And she said, no problem, Bill. I'll fix it over the next 5-6 years. No problem. No, she really jumped onto it. And Alyssa, I gotta thank you so much. She's a gem. And when you've got to look at all these different structures that are there, walk around campus. They're beautiful. In addition, the bell tower, I did. I love it. And all right, and Andrew, did you tell him? Did you tell him what happened and who showed up here right at the end, my last day? Tell him right now. Go ahead, tell him. Come on.
It was very cool on Bill and Sharon's last full day on campus in fall. We had gotten a call from some Civil War historians. They do webisodes on the Civil War. These are legit folks. They work in Hollywood. And they came to campus. And when I said, hey, Bill, on your last day, how about you take some Civil War historians who are making a documentary and show them the bell tower? And he's like, yes, let's do that. It was perfect.
It was perfect, and I tell you, but did that with the help of students, with the help of staff and whatever. And I would just tell you, everybody jumped onto that. And I would say that we had people like Jeanette Garcia, who started up the archives. We had Scott Beaver, who installed stairs and lights and all that. Where what used to be something that was a spider web and looked like it was horrible, everything was going to break. He told me, don't bring people up there, they're going to die. So nobody died. One person did break some of the stuff, but that's okay. So I would just say a real big thanks to all the people that were involved in that, and really having the expertise of some of the individuals. I just got to say, I'm very proud when you leave it better than it is, but you're also leaving that history there. And all the alumni, everybody here, you're part of a great history, all the way back to the Civil War. I'm telling you, it is fantastic. So I'm down to a point right now where now I want to talk about Sharon, if it's okay. Okay? And it's her impact. And I couldn't do it. Who said I was going to cry? One of my classmates. I'm not going to do that, okay? So I couldn't do it without you. I was just kind of faking that little cry thing. All right. I want to honor her as my lifelong partner. In fact, I believe Sharon had been the most impactful First Lady in UIU's history. Early in my presidency, she suggested we should host an event that would bring our entire Peacock family together, and also use this event as a fundraiser, i.e. the President's Ball. To date, the President's Ball has raised $1.7 million and continues to bring all stakeholders together for an incredible evening. When I became president, it was also very obvious that the president's residence needed a little bit of renovation. Okay, a lot of it. Okay. After 2 years of fundraising and with the help of Chris Andrews, the late Diane Harms, the I-Girls, and many volunteers, we were able to move into the residence. It was Sharon who had the vision for what the residence should look like, and not only did she make this a beautiful home for us, it became open to the entire UIU community. We provided house tours, hosted alumni gatherings, established a Christmas open house, and made it available to employees, students, and the community. Sharon also established a parent bon voyage at the President's home after each move-in day for the students. We would invite all the parents to our residence so they could get to know us and be rest assured when they were leaving their children in good hands. It was also a great way to keep the parents connected. She also decorated and painted the President's office, helped to clean the bell tower, and also put up 4 Christmas trees every year. I had to carry the trees up and down. She went ahead and decorated. Oh, painful. We only have one now, okay? She was always by my side, attending functions, academic events, sporting events, alumni visits, visiting with students and parents on campus and in the President's home. Without question, Sharon's role as First Lady made a huge impact during our time at UIU. Not only is she my partner in life, she was my partner in everything. She's the love of my life, and I'm so very, very proud of you. Okay, I only got about an hour and a half left, so hang on. That's what Andrew said. I have an hour and a half for, right? Okay. All right. Before I close, I have one more mission to complete with UIU, and we need your help. The Board of Trustees established an $8 million fundraising goal for the 15-month period prior to my retirement on June 30, 2024. I'm not sure they know what they're talking about, but I said, sounds good to me. To date, we have raised $6.4 million toward that goal, which is quite amazing. More than ever, UIU needs to increase the number of our alumni and friends that establish annual and monthly unrestricted giving commitments. At present, 1% of our alumni are donors. It's 1%. The average alumni donor for most colleges is 10%. If 10% of our alumni establish monthly unrestricted donations, i.e. $25 a month to $100 a month, somewhere in there, the cost of meals, just the cost of a meal, not only will UIU ensure we achieve our fundraising goals, it will also incentivize others to do the same. And I can guarantee you this, I look at other colleges, I see the ones that have the public funding, I see, and to my West Point buddies, I see what West Point has, they got federal funding and they got all that. But I can tell you this, every dollar that you put into this university, it makes a difference. And when I look at this is a university, I can tell you, every time I'm talking to alum, they know probably most faculty they were with, they know everything about it because this is a family. This is a peacock small, it's a small family, but I'm gonna tell you, with a large heart out there. And so every one of these dollars makes a difference and it's a great investment. So I would just say, think about that. And I think we do have some of the documents there for some recurring giving on some of the tables. So I want you to think about that. So I want to also send out a very special thanks right now to my 2 executive assistants who think they're funny. And actually, I know you are, you definitely are. We had some big laughs. Along with Kathy Wenhold there, because we all talk, we're so close together, working together. You are all amazing. You're patient. You're humble. You're totally committed to UIU's success, and you are the consummate professionals. And love you. Let's give those 3 another round of applause. And of course, we wish Kathy and Chuck Franken the very best as they lead UIU into the future. There's no doubt in my mind you are the right leader at the right time. No doubt about it. I'm very proud of the board who chose you to be the president, and I wish you the best, Sharon and I do, and Godspeed. So, in closing, Sharon and I love UIU. We will miss you all, and our home in Florida is always open for peacocks. Sharon and I will keep in touch, and in the meantime, keep on doing great things for UIU, great things for our community, great things for our country. Hua and go Peacocks.
Thank you, Bill. Obviously, you've meant so much to so many here at UIU. We're proud tonight that thanks to many generous donors, you and Sharon will have a legacy that lives on. As part of tonight's celebration, the Bill and Sharon Duffy Changing Lives Scholarship Fund has been created, with very generous lead gifts from Steve Harms and the Andrews family, in addition to many other generous donors. Over $300,000 has been raised and committed thus far for the scholarship fund. A portion of this fund will be used to immediately assist Fayette campus and adult learners in achieving their educational goals. And additionally, a portion will be used to permanently endow the Bill and Sharon Duffy Changing Lives Scholarship Fund. And deserving recipients will be supported by this scholarship for generations to come. It's a fantastic way to honor your legacies here at UIU. Please join me in a round of applause for all the generous donors to this fund. And if you have not yet had a chance to make your gift to this scholarship fund, I hope you found the inspiration tonight to do so. There are gift envelopes and pledge cards at the front table outside of the ballroom, and of course a basket and card reader for us to immediately accept a gift. While this marks the end of the official program, We invite you all to stay and enjoy dessert options, although I think you already did. But we also want you to have a chance to enjoy each other's fellowship. The bar will be open for a little bit, and hopefully Bill and Sharon can make their way to you. But just really appreciate one more time everybody coming out tonight to celebrate a really momentous evening in UIU's history, and proud to ensure that Bill and Sharon Duffy's legacy lives on at UIU. Thank you. Have a good night.
for doing that. You're here. Okay. All right. Also, a couple other ones.
Yeah, don't drink it all.
Yeah, I want to offer you.
Bill, do you have anything to say this morning?
Yeah, I'm ready to stop. I'm ready to stop. Okay, that's it. That's all I got.